Here at Western Trading Post, we feel so honored and blessed to be able to preserve and perpetuate our rich Western history and heritage. And we also feel so honored when we have friends come from all over the country to visit us. Bille Hougart has came from Washington, D.C., not just to stop by Western Trading Post, even though that's what we feel
That's
like
what we
saying.
saw. Yeah. I thought that's why you came.
Well,
just to see us.
it was one of the major reasons, believe me, it was.
Bille is not only a researcher, a writer, an editor, a wildlife biologist, he is
you
an
remembered that.
individual that inspires, motivates, and encourages individuals to go after their goals and dreams. Bille, you have several books that you have written, but there are 4 that are out that are absolutely amazing. What got you started writing?
Well, I retired from the government and from the Oceanic Institute in Hawaii, and I thought, well, I need a hobby, so Sue and I were collecting silver, and I ran into a hallmark I couldn't decipher, and one thing led to another, and I had to find out, and it turns out it was Mexican. Started collecting Mexican silver, wrote a book about that. It's still
Was that the first book?
That was the first one, yeah. And then some acquaintances said, well, you should look at the Native American silver.
Yes.
And it looked like a daunting challenge, and so I looked around and I found there were lots of books about Native American jewelry, which is wonderful. But if you wanted to look about marks, you had to buy a stack of them.
Yes.
And so I decided to try to come up with a one-size-fits-all in one book. And it was a major task. And now, then 4 editions later, it's in pretty good shape, but it's a never-ending battle. There's always new folks coming into the business, and it's a great excuse to come around and visit friends, to find out more what's going on.
The extensive amount of research that goes into these books, about how long does it take?
So I'd say 3-4 years.
Well, and how useful is his book here at
They're
Western Trading Post?
Very useful. So we have 8 full-time and another 6 part-time people in here, and everybody is constantly using your books. They're wore out. We have to buy a whole case every couple of years.
I like that. Yeah,
just to
good.
supply.
What's wrong with that?
Supply our people. And you're coming out with another one in the near future?
Yes, completely overhauled, new formatting, lots of, maybe 1,000 new photographs, and 100 at least new silversmiths and so on.
And there was something that I was researching about you on the internet earlier that really touched my heart. You and Sue have been together for over 30 years. You're the best of friends. You work side by side. You're always encouraging one another.
Sue is an inspiration. I mean, it would be very difficult for me to put these books out without her constant encouragement and help.
How many times all of us want to be accepted for something that we're trying to do to give back? Can you tell us about feeling accepted when you have been putting so much effort into these books?
It's a very personal thing, and when you put something like this out on the market, it's a scary thing because you put yourself into it.
Yeah.
But I was so surprised that especially the Native American silversmiths are happy to see it, happy to see me, and I try to be as understanding as I possibly can about their work, their culture, and how they represent themselves through their jewelry, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Can you tell us one of the greatest rewards from putting these books out?
More than once, I've been approached by Native Americans who asked me, "Am I in your book?" and or do you have a spot in your book? And I always tell them absolutely. So they send their information to me, and I put together a paragraph or 2 and put their photographs in, and they are just so pleased, and it's a very humbling thing for me. And
Yeah. It's like recognition.
Yeah, exactly. And I really appreciate it.
And just to reiterate the point of how big and accepted your book has gotten, there's a lot of times now where if somebody can't find the hallmark, in your book, they suspect it might not even be a legit piece.
There is that, Jim.
Yeah.
Just because an item is not hallmarked does not mean it is faked. When did the first hallmarks come out? About the 30s?
There were 20s.
The
Yeah,
20s?
there were a handful in the 20s, and maybe even one a little earlier than that, but in the 20s, yeah. And then
But it was
again,
still not very common.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't until the 30s, and especially until after that, the Indian Arts and Crafts Board stamping program started in 38, I believe it was.
38.
Yeah, I got it right.
Yeah,
first time.
38, yeah.
I have to go to the book to figure it out.
What about contemporary pieces that are not hallmarked? Is that something that the buyer should be aware of?
Well, they should, and it takes a lot of experience trying to sort out some of these complicated bracelets that look like they're real and come from overseas, and people get caught. I've made mistakes myself, and probably will
I think
make
that's
some
how
more.
we all
I
learn.
got burned a few
Yeah.
times, but I would say for sure buy from Native American artists and from trusted traders and dealers, and always get a receipt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good
A
advice.
reputable
Good.
dealer, get a receipt.
Absolutely.
Ask any of the, what are some good questions to ask?
Well, what do you know about the provenance?
The provenance.
Who might have made it? Do you know who made it? Where did you buy it? And what kind of stone is it? And, even today, when I see a mark in an antique store, I'll say, I know that, but wait a minute, I can't, so I have to go to my own books. Luckily, I carry a digital copy on my cell phone. So, which reminds me, in the 5th edition will be available in print, but also as a digital download ebook, so people can carry it.
That'll be nice. And how many entries will be in that?
4,000 or so.
And you don't remember them all by heart?
No.
One of my last questions is, you have changed careers several times, but you have truly gone after goals and dreams. How can you encourage others that it's never too late to go after goals and dreams?
It's not too late, and I would advise folks to give it a shot, but don't go too far from your basic instincts and where you came from.
Yeah.
Well, something great that you can learn from Billy and Sue is to always go after your goals and dreams. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. And definitely Billy leads by example as he puts out these amazing books and
much.
really inspires others to go after their goals and dreams too. Billy, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
being
so much
us
for having me. I
today.
appreciate it so much.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you. It's a wrap.